Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday, August 3rd. Just going to run through the morning charts here. We've got the Kiko Gold Overlay chart. You can see pretty much from yesterday's price action, this is the range that it traded in, and this morning we're currently up at the top of the range for gold here. And I have a feeling we have another day or two of consolidation slash upward pressure for gold. We still could see it kind of push up towards the 1195, possibly the 1200 area, which is going to be a pretty major resistance level. So I don't want to jump the gun yet, but I do think it's starting to get a little tired here. But I think there's room for it to mature still. So let's just jump into the daily and intraday chart of gold. You can see we've had a nice kind of pop into resistance here, and it had a doji candle there, and now it's just kind of trying to push its way up this morning, and it's still within a resistance level. Of course, resistance would be the previous high up here. That would be, if that's broken, then there's a good chance gold has bottomed and it's going to work its way up. But let's just take a look at the 60-minute chart. Here's over about 15 days. You can see we had that hook up, and yesterday we had that pop in the morning. It happened on rising volume, but not a lot of volume. Anyways, it was met with sellers, sold back down, and through the night we saw gold pretty much just trade flat, and we got a little pop up this morning, and it's just kind of hanging right there. So what I want to see more or less is some type of breakdown like what we saw over here, which is you see this rising price action, and then you see some pretty big selling volume, and you'll see it break down, and then I want to see it drift up, and then that'll show that sellers are back in control, and this drift up on light volume is what we'll be looking to short in, and then we'll most likely put a stop above the high. So that's what I'm looking for over here. If I just kind of draw that on this chart, I want to see some type of strong volume sell-off, something strong that moves it below this main support level. So I want to see some type of sharp sell-off, possibly to this low or lower, and then with rising volume I want to see some volume spike up here, and then once we get some type of drift back up into this level, we'll be looking to take a short, and then we can move our stop above the high, which will minimize our risk. And then hopefully we'll just see it more or less break down, and it could form a head and shoulders here, depending what happens on the intraday chart. So that's what I see for gold. I'm not going to jump the gun on it yet. Usually the market has a way of dragging things out several more days than you anticipate, and so you might as well wait and let it unfold instead of jumping in early and kind of getting whipsawed around. That's the best way to get around that. So if we jump into the SP500, there's a few charts I'll run through here. This is the NYSE trend. Some of the charts I use for the market internals. I've talked about this a few times, but in short, whenever we get one of these island days, let me just clarify something real quick. Anything below 1 means the market, there's accumulation, people are buying in the market. Anything above 1 means there's distribution, people selling or taking profits. So whenever we get these island days that trade down here, down by the 50 or lower, that's a very strong accumulation day. It means vast majority of the orders are buy orders. And then once we see an island day, we usually see a couple days of profit taking. And you can see we had another one down here. It wasn't quite as low, but it was still quite a bit down here, and then we see a little day of profit taking, and we saw another one down here, and there was a couple days of profit taking. And yesterday we had a nice one down here, and the market internals, I'll show you the NYSE advanced decline line in a minute, but it's showing that we're most likely going to see some profit taking today. We still might see up higher prices in the S&P, but I think we're going to see it the momentum slowing, and we'll see probably some profit taking today as well. So if I jump into the index here, I'm just going to pull up squish two charts in here. Okay, so the top chart is the SP500. It's a daily chart. The bottom chart is a 30-minute chart of the advanced decline line. Now if you can see when I move my mouse, my cursor in the bottom chart, it moves on the daily chart up above. I'll just zoom this in a little bit so you can see the two lines moving. So you can, if looking at the bottom chart, you can see the overbought NYSE advanced decline line. It means over 2,000 stocks were moving up that entire session, and of course that's this day right here. We had a nice run up, we had a pop, and then the market was overbought, saying there's more or less too many stocks have moved up, there's going to be some profit taking. And then with that kind of momentum, you usually see a couple days of kind of the momentum has to shift from up to down. So it took a couple days after this surge. Eventually it rolled over, we had the drop, it cleansed the market, and then we had this oversold condition down here, and it actually took 2 or 3 days before it really moved up and continued higher. And then we saw this overbought condition again, and you can see it's right here. We had this great big surge, stocks all jumped, and now it's taking 1, 2, 3. It took 3 days to roll over again, and it pulled back for a correction. Anyways, we didn't have extreme oversold, but we saw it continue down in that time. And right now, as we're looking at the markets, yesterday we had another overbought market condition, and we're trading right here. And I'm expecting we're going to see another couple days for the momentum to start to die out, and we'll most likely see, hopefully it'll pause underneath this previous high, this high over here. We'll just see it kind of grind in here, and then we'll probably see some type of pause here. And this actually might even form like a cup and handle pattern. There might be some, we might see some sideways action in here and then get a nice break to the upside. So we'll have to let that play out, but that's what I'm seeing right now. The market is almost at resistance. It's overbought, so I think we're going to see not quite as much expansion today. We'll probably see some profit taking. It could be a slow grind up, could be a little more choppy, just because there's going to be waves of people buying and then waves of people taking some money off the table. So it could get a little more choppy over the next 3 days, and that's what I see on those charts. Now if I just make this daily chart a little bigger, you can see we had not, it's tough to see the volume here, they're just the colors, but we had a couple big volume spikes there on the futures, showing that there were some buyers moving in. Yes, this morning you can't count today's volume, it doesn't really kick in until the market's open at 9:30, but we've got a nice trend moving up. Just as I mentioned in the weekend report, right off this trend line we had a nice bounce, and now we're coming into this resistance level, which is the 1129 1130 resistance point. And so that's kind of what we're looking at right now. It's getting wedged into this this wedge angle here, and we've got it trading above the 200-day moving average. We've got it trading, this gray moving average here is the 5-day. It's trading above that. It's trading above the 14-day moving average crossovers and the 50-period moving average. So there's quite a bit of support under it, including the support trend line, and we might see it trade sideways in this range for a few days or maybe a week, and the longer it consolidates, the bigger the potential move up. So we're just going to play it by ear, see what happens here. On the intraday charts, if we get another day or two of a pause, it'll actually set up more or less for a low risk entry point, and we could take a long position and put a tight stop in under the trend line support or under this previous low, and take a stab at getting in before it breaks out. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm waiting for a pullback or some sideways pause action, and for the internals to show us that there looks like there's going to be some upside, and we'll take a position and ride it up. So that's what I see right now for gold and the S&P, and I'll talk to you guys in the chat room. Bye bye.